You are in the midst of a profound spiritual metamorphosis. It is not an event marked by a single, dramatic moment, but a slow, graceful unfolding, like a desert flower blooming after a long, silent rain. This period of profound inner growth is no longer a choice but a destiny. It is drawing you inexorably toward a state of being you've always yearned for, a deeper sense of inner peace, a more genuine and boundless love, and a life perfectly balanced between the inner and outer worlds. You have begun to meticulously and deliberately realign your priorities, shifting your gaze from the clamor of the external world to the quiet, sacred sanctuary of your own emotional and spiritual well-being. This isn't about rejection or resentment. It is about self-preservation and soul nourishment. In this beautiful, brave process, you have created a gentle and necessary distance. You've stepped away from the relentless churn of chaos, from the draining dance of codependency, and from the self-sacrificing patterns that once left you feeling hollowed out and depleted. It was a liberation, a quiet rebellion against everything that no longer served your highest good. Now, you are more deeply and intrinsically in tune with the quiet wisdom of your higher self, and you move through the world with an effortless grace, an unshakable strength, and a clarity of purpose that is both gentle and firm. The love you now seek is no longer a frantic search for external validation or a desperate clinging to attachment. It has evolved into something far more sacred. It is a quest for mutual respect, a yearning for true emotional safety, and a conscious search for a profound spiritual connection that transcends the superficial. You no longer need to be completed by another. You are whole within yourself, and you seek a partner who is also on the path to their own wholeness. Meanwhile, your evolution has created a ripple effect, a quiet tremor in the heart of the person who stands on the periphery of your light. They are becoming increasingly and undeniably affected by your transformation. They feel an undeniable, almost magnetic pull toward your gentle nature, an aching gravitational force that is drawing them closer to the very essence of who you are. Your calm, nurturing energy is a balm to their weary soul, offering them something they didn't even know they were missing, a safe, hallowed space where they can finally feel, speak, and be understood without judgment. Being around you is a profound, silent lesson in emotional literacy. It is teaching them how to express their emotions not just with guarded words or through scattered actions, but with a new and terrifying vulnerability. They are learning to communicate love not as a transaction, but as a pure, unconditional presence. They are learning to connect through emotional honesty. This kind of open-hearted expression is not a natural state for them. They have been taught by life to build walls, to armor their feelings, to believe that vulnerability is a weakness. But your energy, so radiant and true, invites this change. It encourages it, and in a way that is both powerful and subtle, it demands it. As much as they may try to deny or suppress the tumultuous feelings swirling within them, the connection they share with you is only intensifying. It has become an unignorable current beneath the surface of their lives. They have noticed a fundamental shift in your demeanor, in your very presence. You no longer respond to them with the same reactive energy you once had. Your aura is more reserved, more focused inward, and less swayed by the passing storms of their emotions. You have consciously and meticulously set new boundaries and established new standards for yourself, standards of respect, integrity, and self-worth. You are no longer chasing after them, no longer proving your value, and no longer begging for their affection. You are simply embodying it. You are the embodiment of self-respect, a living testament to the fact that you no longer need external approval to feel complete. And this monumental shift, instead of creating distance, has had the opposite effect. It is drawing them in even more powerfully than before. They find themselves missing you in a deeper, more profound, and more aching way. It is not the simple missing of a person, it is the missing of a feeling, a state of being that only you could provide. No matter how much they attempt to block the connection or distract themselves with noise and temporary affections, their thoughts and emotions return to you with an even greater, more relentless force. This shift has created a necessary, profound discomfort within them, compelling them to confront parts of themselves they have masterfully avoided for a lifetime. Your presence and your own spiritual growth are acting as a powerful catalyst, triggering their own painful, beautiful awakening. They are being guided by a growing intuition, by a series of undeniable signs, and perhaps even by a greater, divine timing to finally begin the deep, transformative shadow work they have resisted for so long. This means a journey into the uncharted, terrifying territory of their fears, their unhealed insecurities, their forgotten traumas, and their most deeply buried emotional wounds. There is no turning back now. The contrast between the person they were with you and the magnificent, whole person you are becoming without them is a stark, undeniable truth. It is a mirror held up to their own soul, and it compels them to look inward, to face the reflection they've long denied. It is not just that they miss your physical presence or your conversation. It is a painful, dawning understanding of why they couldn't meet you where you were before. They are beginning to see the patterns, the fears, and the insecurities that held them back from true intimacy. To them, you now embody the sacred energy of the Strength card, a representation of grace under pressure, emotional mastery, and an unshakable sense of self that feels divinely ordained. You are no longer swayed by temporary affection or shallow, performative words. You have become magnetic, not because of what you are doing, but because of who you are being, a person who is whole within herself. And to them, that kind of self-contained power and peace is absolutely irresistible. Your strength doesn't make you distant or unapproachable. It makes you sacred in their eyes, a rare and powerful presence unlike anyone they have ever known or will ever know. The more they search for that unique spark elsewhere, the more they realize it simply does not exist in anyone else. In their deepest moments of honesty, they know this truth in their bones: you are never just another person to them. You are the one they will always compare every other connection to, and the one who will forever hold a sacred place in their soul. There is truly no one else like you. No matter who they try to connect with, no matter how desperately they try to fill the void your absence has left, the truth is undeniable. No one compares. The spark they shared with you is unique, raw, and profoundly real. And the painful, soul-shattering realization is setting in: running from this connection no longer offers them peace. In fact, it hurts far more to avoid it than to face it. They are finally done hiding behind the emotional walls they've spent a lifetime building. They are done holding back the love and the truth of their feelings. The emotional intensity they once feared and ran from is now the very thing they crave most. Everywhere they turn, they are reminded of you. Whether it's through a familiar song that plays on the radio, a dream that feels more real than waking life, the sight of a place you once visited together, or the fleeting, ghost-like moments that remind them of your presence, your essence lingers. It is etched into their memory like a song that won't stop playing, a melody that haunts them with its beauty and its truth. The tables have truly turned, and now they are the ones yearning, longing, and struggling to understand what went so wrong and what, if anything, can still be made right. This difficult and often isolating journey is forcing them into a deep period of self-reflection and spiritual awakening. Their soul is being forced to learn hard lessons about what true love looks like, about the true meaning of vulnerability, and about the weight and sanctity of emotional responsibility. What once felt comfortable, emotional detachment, the fear of commitment, or the habit of avoidance, now feels completely empty and without substance. And what once scared them, true intimacy, honesty, and a deep, conscious spiritual connection, is now what they seek above all else. In this painful silence, in this great space that has formed between you, they are finally beginning to evolve. The love they feel for you is no longer surface level or reactive. It is deeper, more conscious, and rooted in a genuine admiration for the person you are. You have become both the mirror and the muse for their healing. And even if they haven't yet spoken these truths aloud, they are feeling them with an increasing clarity that cannot be denied. The energy between you is not gone. It has simply shifted, matured, and taken on a new, more profound meaning. There is a part of them that longs to speak, to confess the depths of their pain and confusion. It is a confession not just to you, but to themselves. I know I have often taken my own frustrations out on you, and for that, I am truly and deeply sorry. It was never fair to you, and I am beginning to recognize the gravity of that injustice. But the truth is, I have been struggling in ways that I have never known how to express, ways that feel impossible to put into words. Watching you move forward on your journey, growing emotionally, healing from old wounds, and deepening your self-awareness has stirred something so powerful and so terrifying within me. On one hand, I admire you more than words can say for the strength and the clarity you are finding. You are a source of endless inspiration, a testament to what is possible when one chooses to heal. On the other hand, it is profoundly painful for me to witness because I feel so incredibly stuck in comparison. You seem to be moving into a new, elevated phase of life, one filled with maturity, emotional independence, and a deep, unshakable inner peace. While I feel like I'm still grappling with the most basic lessons, still weighed down by fears, attachments, and insecurities that I foolishly thought I had already dealt with. It's not that I don't want to grow, I do. I believe in this journey, too. And deep down, in the quietest place of my soul, I know that my time will also come. I will also reach a point where I can look back and finally understand why I had to experience these feelings, why I had to face this excruciating discomfort. But right now, in this moment, I am utterly overwhelmed. This is how I feel. Raw, unsettled, and profoundly lost. When we do talk and you speak with so much emotional strength and clarity, it brings up an unexpected sadness in me. I feel this heavy sense of inadequacy, like I'm being left behind, and it is a truth I hate admitting to myself, let alone to you. Your independence is a beautiful thing to behold, and I love that you're becoming a person who knows their worth and stands firmly in it. But for me, it also shines a bright light on how much I still rely on you emotionally. And that stark contrast hurts more than you could possibly know. It is not your fault at all. If anything, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to. You're growing, healing, expanding. I am proud of you for that, truly. But in my own messy process, I am still learning how to let go of the emotional dependence I have on you. I am still figuring out how to fill my own cup from my own wellspring instead of looking to you to do it for me. That is a difficult and humbling truth to admit, but it is the truth. I have grown deeply attached to you, not just to your presence, but to the comfort and safety you gave me when I couldn't find it in myself. And now, as you're learning to stand alone, I'm realizing I have to do the same. Even if I don't feel ready for it, this mix of emotions, jealousy, admiration, fear, and love, it's all so confusing. I feel torn between wanting to be close to you and wanting to hide from you because I don't want you to see these broken parts of me. I'm terrified that if you really saw how protective and possessive I sometimes feel, you'd pull away even more. I don't want to burden you with my insecurities, so I keep my distance. But the distance doesn't really help either. It just deepens the sense of separation I already feel, not just from you, but from myself. I want so desperately to be better, for you, for me, for this sacred connection we share. But I'm learning that healing doesn't happen all at once. It is a messy, non-linear process, and it is often a profoundly isolating one. I catch myself watching you, noticing how freely others are drawn to your energy, how openly you offer your love and affection now. And while a part of me is genuinely happy for you, another part feels left out, like I'm no longer the person you can confide in or lean on. That jealousy is a feeling I am not proud of, but I am learning to sit with it without acting on it. It doesn't come from a place of malice, it comes from a deep and aching longing, from missing the closeness we once had. I miss the version of us that felt safe and familiar, even if it was not always healthy. And I think what is hardest is the painful realization that I can't ever go back to that. Neither of us can. We've outgrown that space, and now we're each being called to evolve in our own ways. I'm learning, slowly, that love isn't about possession. It's not about needing someone to stay in one place so you can feel secure. It's about allowing the other person to grow, to transform, and to become the person they were meant to be, even when it challenges you and even when it hurts. And that's what I am trying to do, hold space for your growth without letting my own fears and insecurities control me. But please know that this process is uncomfortable, confusing, and profoundly painful. I'm still figuring out how to be okay on my own. I'm still learning how to love without holding on too tightly. I don't expect you to fix any of this for me. I know this is my inner work to do, but I needed to be honest with you because holding it all in has been eating away at my soul. I may not always show it in the right way, but I care about you more than words can express. My actions may not reflect it perfectly, especially when I'm projecting my pain, but it all stems from how much this connection means to me. I'm trying to grow, too. Even if my path looks different than yours right now, I just hope you can see that underneath all the confusion and emotion, there is still love. There is still a part of me that wants to rise to meet you where you are, not out of fear or attachment, but out of wholeness. I'm not there yet, but I'm on my way. I know you've been wondering where I went and why I disappeared again without any explanation. I can only imagine how that made you feel. Confused, hurt, maybe even angry. You deserve honesty, and the truth is, I've been struggling in ways that I haven't been able to fully explain, even to myself. I didn't walk away because I stopped caring or because your presence wasn't important to me. I walked away because I desperately needed space. Space to breathe, to quiet the relentless noise of my thoughts, and to figure out who I am when everything feels so overwhelming. I needed that distance to ease my mind and try to think clearly for once. Please know that my silence was never meant to punish you or to emotionally distance myself from you. In fact, you're the one person who has consistently shown me genuine care, boundless love, and a profound, compassionate understanding. You've given me time, patience, and parts of your heart that I never even had to ask for. You've loved me through my chaos, my contradictions, and my inconsistencies. That kind of love is rare. It is deep, unshakable, and real. And I never took it for granted, even if my actions sometimes made it seem like I did. You've always been the one who made me feel comfortable in my own skin. The one who made me feel seen and heard without judgment. There's a certain warmth and safety in the way you love, like I could fall apart completely and still be safe in your arms. That is not something I have ever felt with anyone else. You gave me the courage to be vulnerable, but I didn't always know how to handle that vulnerability. I put up walls. I hid behind masks. And I tried to present myself as someone who had it all together, someone who was content, confident, and happy. But the truth is, that wasn't me. I've been pretending for so long, it started to feel real. I put on a brave face and smiled through the pain. But inside, I've been slowly falling apart. I felt empty and lost, like I'm stuck in a version of life that I can't escape from. Without you, that emptiness feels even deeper. There is no love like yours, and your absence only makes that more obvious to me. I lied to you, not because I wanted to hurt you or deceive you, but because I didn't want you to see me as a failure. I didn't want you to know how much I was struggling, how unhappy I really was, or how much of a mess I've become inside. I thought if I could hide my sadness, I could somehow protect you from the weight of it. I wanted to be the person you believed in, not someone who needed saving. But in doing so, I distanced myself from the one person who actually saw through it all and loved me anyway. Right now, I feel exhausted, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It's as though life has been one long, relentless battle, and I'm just trying to stay standing. I feel drained, like I've been pouring from a cup that's been empty for far too long. Nothing seems to go right. Every time I try to catch my breath, something else falls apart. It's overwhelming and relentless. And in the middle of all that, I know I've let you down more times than I can count. That truth hurts more than I can express because the last thing I ever wanted was to become a source of pain for someone who only ever wanted to love me. I carry a heavy burden of guilt, regret, and the fear that I may have ruined something truly beautiful because I didn't know how to be okay on my own. I wish I could go back and do things differently. I wish I had the courage earlier to be honest about what I was feeling and what I needed. But more than anything, I wish I could give you the same peace and love you gave me. I'm not writing this to ask for anything. Not forgiveness, not another chance, not even understanding if it's too much to ask. I just needed to say all of this. I needed to let you know that my silence was not indifference. That my absence was not a reflection of how I feel about you. It was about me, my confusion, my pain, and my desperate need to figure myself out before I lost even more of who I am.